Hi guys, Shaz here. So, we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. Like, what is imposter syndrome? It's when you become successful and you start thinking to yourself, oh damn, should I be here? Is this really me? Can I really do this? And you know what? I think it does happen to everybody. And sometimes, as a CEO of a company, I can think, or I used to think a lot about it, is, oh my God, all these people rely on me for their livelihoods. Can I take this responsibility? You know, the company's going really well. Wow, did we just achieve that? And am I the CEO? Or, you know, when I was building new businesses, I would be like, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this, we're doing that. And it would end up very successful. And I would think, wow, did we just achieve that? Doesn't it take more work than that? Or doesn't it take a really special person? Am I that special person? Right, guys, now that I've got you here, come on, give us a like. That really helps. Let's give us a like, or a ping, thumbs up, and let's carry on with the video. So, I've never had an issue with self-esteem. You know why? Because I put in the work, and I always think, right, if I put in the work, that's going to happen. Yeah, so I don't have an issue with self-esteem, but imposter syndrome can feel like, oh, was I supposed to achieve that? Isn't that supposed to be really hard? Or all this pressure is on me. You know, this thing with imposter syndrome, it happens a lot at the minute because everybody can go on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and now they're seeing those millionaires where those millionaires are like, I'm 18 and I'm a millionaire and I've got all this money and life's going great and I've been, you know, doing this since I was like 10 years old, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got these other ones that are like 21 and they've conquered the world and all that. Guys, that used to happen before as well, but now the internet, A, made it easier to happen, and B, you get to see it all the time. What do I mean it used to happen before? 20 years ago, before smartphones and all that really came into their own, if you were a superstar, a golf star, a football star, you know, any kind of like singer, you could be 18 or 21 and be paid a lot of money. You could see these people on the news, on the telly, and it'd be like, okay, they're doing this, they're 21, they're 18, they're multimillionaire. And you saw it once and it was gone. Now what happens is it's being pushed down your neck all the time. A lot of younger guys who do become slightly successful, sometimes they're not millionaires, because I know this happens. They like to make you think that they're millionaires because you can use the internet these days to project being successful and attract attention. And attraction and attention is money, yeah? So guys can go on and say, right, I'm a multimillionaire of selling digital goods or physical goods, or I own a marketing agency and I'm a multimillionaire. Guess what happens? Then they say, oh, by the way, I also sell a course, yeah? And all they have to do is show a car, some fancy lifestyle, rent an apartment, all this, a great lifestyle, and say, oh, I'm a multimillionaire. And nobody ever goes and looks in their bank account to see if they are. They just see the things in the back of the, you know, YouTube video, on Insta, etc. And they think, oh my God, the guy's 21, he's a multimillionaire, but guess what he does? He sells a course about digital marketing, selling products. And they think, I can do that. And guess what happens? He does become, or she does become, a multimillionaire. Guess why? Because they sell thousands and thousands of those courses a month, and they eventually do become a multimillionaire, yeah? So don't be misled down a route of that everything you see is true and everybody is a multimillionaire. So to avoid feeling like you're an imposter or having imposter syndrome, do little things that drive you forward. Just make sure you're sleeping right, eating right, doing exercise, and working on your business or whatever product, you know, digital thing, or whatever it is you're working on, wherever you feel this imposter syndrome, and tell yourself, I'm doing this, it's working, I'm putting in effort, and that should make it easier for you. Next, ignore the fear. You know the reason that people don't get rich? It's because they fear failure. Don't fear failure, just do what needs doing and think, you know what, if it goes wrong at the end, I will still have learned something. I will still be moving forward in the direction that I'm trying to go in. Another way of fighting imposter syndrome is keep on reading, keep on educating yourself, keep on expanding your mind, because you know, when you read the stories of others and they tell you, you know what, I had imposter syndrome, you think, right, you know what, wow, you know, there's a huge company and the CEO, she or he, are saying, I had imposter syndrome. It happens to everybody. It's when success comes really fast after putting in loads of work. So what happens is a person puts in a lot of work for 2 or 3 years, and then the next 2 years they get mega success and they're like, oh my God, it's because all of their hard work catches up all of a sudden and they're on like that kind of trajectory, and it just goes whoosh into the sky and like, wow, all of a sudden I've got all this success. You know what? That success doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's the work that you put in a long time ago, just catching up and overshooting the work you've done so far, and that's just called progress. You know, the next thing you need to do to avoid imposter syndrome is stay hungry. There's no such thing as overnight success. Guys, you've always been putting in the work to get to where you are, so don't worry about that. Right, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't die average.